So we reach out to students like you who might be interested in such webinars to gain more knowledge. So we also promote equality and gender diversity in not only in our society, but in general. So we try to do something every year that's on the lines of promoting such topics. So last year we did a fireside chat with women leaders in the aerospace sector, again in collab with AIS and Women in Aviation. We brought some women leaders from companies like UPS and SIEC to come down and talk and network with students, both male and female, in NTU. And yes, so it also provides you a networking opportunity for the industry. Next up, so we liaise with the industry a lot, not just for networking, but for you guys to gain more insights into how you can shape your careers at these companies. So for example, this was with Airbus. 3 speakers came down and have a chat. Basically, we also did a small paper plane challenge to engage the students, and then followed by the fireside chat to learn more about what a career could look like in Airbus. So these are the photos from that. Okay, so similarly, we did something with the Boeing company. So the executive vice president and CEO of Boeing Defense and Space came down to Singapore and gave a chat at the Boeing headquarters in Singapore to all students, an inspirational career talk and anything you have to ask about the industry, about the future. So another networking opportunity, of course. So as for the fun part, the workshops where you gain some mechanical skills, aerospace skills, and have a nice time with fellow students with the common passion in aerospace. This one was the Bottle Rocket Challenge. We just started last year. And this one was for pre-uni students, which we also did for NTU students. As you can see in the photos, we give you a short time frame. So you have to build the rocket under pressure, and then we generate the excitement of launching it at the Sports and Recreation Center. So it's essentially fun with aerodynamics and something for you to explore. See the further photos. We also integrated with the tour occasionally. For example, this one was the new wind tunnel at the aerodynamics lab. So you can gain more knowledge into the industry. And it doesn't matter if you're from an aerospace engineering background or not. It is something that caters to all students with a common interest and passion. So this one is part of the society. If you're in it, we occasionally try to do reach out to students outside NTU as well, promote aviation in general in Singapore. So this one was Girls in Aviation Day, where we catered to girls, both girls and boys actually, but mainly girls from the age of 8 to 17 to show them what aerospace feels like, get them interested, spark an interest in this industry. So yeah, we did activities catered to them, such as record paper plane building or FPV drone experiencing, and 3D printing, of course. So for you, when you join NTU, as I mentioned earlier, we provide a lot of networking opportunities. So this one was in October last year, yes, Green Aviation, which was basically talking about sustainable aviation tech. So you all know the aerospace industry is really revamping right now, and technology is changing at a rapid pace. And toward global warming, this industry itself contributes 3%. So we brought down speakers from Volocopter, Airbus, Boeing, and Rolls-Royce to give an idea from each perspective on what each particular section of this industry is doing to help avoid the issue. What are the future plans? And talk about mainly 3 technologies: hydrogen, electrification, and sustainable aviation fuels. So not only is it a learning, but also a networking and something that may benefit your careers up ahead. So Aerospace Society, of course, it has to be something for the members of the society, for students in NTU to have fun with aerospace, right? So this is a drone building workshop from a few years ago, which we are planning to resume up next as well. So we give you all the parts, we teach you the basics of how drones work, and going forward, you can learn, you can play around with it, and you'll get the parts to build your own quadcopter in teams. So you also make a lot of friends, of course, and have a nice time, and do learn some really pretty relevant skills in the industry, something that can help you going forward, especially if you're planning a career in the aerospace industry. and another one is aero modeling. So back 4 or 5 years ago, there were no restrictions in terms of flying drones. So we could fly the drones or aero gliders with electrical components, of course, in NTU. But since now the regulations have become stricter since then, so we also regularly improvise. So a new workshop we just did last week was a water powered glider. So we use the water rocket thrusters, build the launchers, and allowed participants to team up, give them 1.5 hours, and make an entire wing, an airfoil section, along with winglets out of styrofoam. So you build the whole wing. It's pretty crunch time. You only have 1.5 hours, so you need to brainstorm and get your hands on immediately. Build a wing, attach it to a water bottle, and of course, after that, we head down to SRC and launch it. So this one is still something we can do in NTU because it does not involve any electrical circuits, and it's a more challenging concept in the sense flying it is not as easy. So it'll be quite an experience for you all. So we always plan to come up with new ideas, new events to generate interest in the youth, of course. So as part of the society, when you join the society as a member or as a committee, you'll get the opportunity to first and foremost connect with fellow students from any school whatsoever who have a common interest. You make friends, you share your passion, you connect with the industry, widen your network, and your perspective with time will be different. You'll definitely gain more knowledge. You'll have a nice time. And yes, it's also an opportunity for you to explore any new projects you want to. You can always pitch to the Aerospace Society, and we help you out with anything and everything aerospace, basically. So that's all on my end. If there are any questions, I think they'll be answered later on. So thank you a lot.
Thank you. Is there any questions from anybody? Anyway, the presenter is Bandari Chime. He is the president of Aerospace Society in MAE. You have any comments or any question? Can you write down in the chat? If not, then who's the next presenter? Which club is it? The next one?
That will be me from
Okay.
Leadership Development Program.
Can Wesley, maybe you introduce yourself?
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
Let me just get my screen started.
Yeah.
I might take a few minutes. So meanwhile, if you guys have any questions about Aerospace Society, you can just ask my friend Chinmei here. Okay. Can everyone see my slides?
Yep. Yeah, can see.
Okay, great. Oops, my bad. Hang on. Finger issues. Okay, then I'll just start first. So hi everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, friends of all ages, my name is Wesley and I come from the School of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering's LDP, which stands for Leadership Development Program Club. So basically, I'll be here to share with you more about the inner workings of our club and what we do here at LDP. So let's perhaps start off with why LDP exists in the first place, in the sense that what are our activities as well as what our beliefs are. So at a glance, what LDP does is that we organize and execute a wide range of events. So these events, we have two types of stakeholders, internal and external stakeholders. So when we are talking about internal stakeholders, we are talking about like other organizations as well as other faculties within NTU. So primarily, we will be working with the mechanical and aerospace engineering faculty, of course, because that is our base faculty. But for larger scale events, which I will introduce to you later, we will be working with the College of Engineering as well. As for the external stakeholders, usually we will be interacting with youth networks from other community centers, as well as places like Singapore Science Centre, which I'm sure that a lot of you might have been familiar with. Beyond that, on a smaller scale, we also actually guide and nurture junior members because we have this very strong belief that everyone can be a leader if they put themselves to the task. But we must also caution you that the leadership journey will be long and will be filled with challenges. Rome was not built overnight. The leadership journey will need you to put in a conscientious effort, which means that you need to know at which part of the journey do you stand and what you need to do to progress as a leader. So in case you guys are wondering, this is how our logo for our club looks like. Moving on, I will be sharing more about the various kind of activities that we run. So first and foremost, we have the Tech Ignite workshop, which just very recently concluded early on this year in January, where we reached out to tertiary students and conducted a workshop that involves the use of Arduino. Very specifically, the workshop was meant for, so basically this Tech Ignite workshop, we use the Arduino itself, as well as LEDs, photoresistor, as well as a water sensor. And the task for the participants was to actually try to build an Arduino working system that simulates how an automatic shade will work during sunshine or raining conditions. So in case you guys weren't aware yet, our team for Tech Ignite this year was actually about smart cities. So participants are introduced to like various concepts that might be in the homes of the future and stuff like that. So our next large-scale activities would be the leadership speech series. For this year, I believe it will be held early on this March, and plans are already underway to prepare for this event. So for leadership speech series, what LDP actually does is that we will send out invitations to people who have held or are currently holding leadership positions within prominent STEM industries. And then we would invite them to NTU to give a speech or a talk about what their experiences are like in their current industries. So this was done in the hope of getting our participants to network with these speakers, as well as to find out more about what these industries might look like or might be for them. We also conducted a MAE High Tea. I'm not sure if some of you were present for last year's rendition of this event, but basically for our MAE High Tea, we kind of showcase more of what we do here, as well as a bit of what LDP does. If I wasn't mistaken, MAE High Tea, we actually conducted an activity also, 3D brand printing, and I most certainly hope that the participants have enjoyed themselves back then. Moving on to our youth networks, which are based in community centers around Singapore. We also have most recently held an Arduino workshop, which was concluded about 2 months ago. If you see this logo down here at the left bottom corner, that is Taman Jurong Youth Network. That's their logo. So for this workshop, we actually reached out to younger children, which is about 12 to 13 years of age. And we actually use this concept called Pictoblocks to try and teach the children about Arduino and what coding is like, and as well as the flow of logic. Moving on, we also held an event for elderlies actually, taken place quite a few months in the past, I would say. And this collaboration this time was with HTA Hospice at Outram Park area. Also, we have reached out to HP Innovation in the past. HP in the past to co-host a HP Innovation Challenge. So for this HP Innovation Challenge, current NTU students were required to get into teams, and these teams need to brainstorm what the future of printing might be. It's quite interesting to see all the innovative ideas that the teams have put together. Okay, this is another 3D pen workshop that we have with the Children's Society, which is a recent collaborator of ours. So basically for this, we are working with children who are actually not so privileged. So like they come from financial places with financial difficulties and other issues as well. So by doing so, we hope to encourage the children to actually venture into the STEM fields in the future. Moving on, we also have the handover ceremony, which is an internal event. Okay, so for the handover ceremony, basically it is an annual event where we will pass on the torch of leadership from the previous exco to future exco. And for the handover ceremony, we do make attempts to invite our prominent professor figures, such as Professor Chan, who is actually our top advisor, Prof. Sridhar, who was our previous top advisor, as well as Prof. Yong, who is the current assistant head of student affairs. Okay, so for this, we actually have a DaVinci workshop, which concluded last December. I was personally there to help drive the workshop. So for the DaVinci workshop, we exposed our participants to concepts of forces as well as moments. So the interesting thing about the DaVinci workshop is that, as many of you might have known, DaVinci was a renowned figure during the Renaissance period, and he came up with many interesting designs. And apparently, there has been reports that stated that he only sleeps for 3 hours a day. I'm not sure how he did that, but okay. So one of his most intriguing concepts was that he came up with this bridge known as the Da Vinci Bridge, which held itself together through only slots. It had no, it doesn't include any adhesives or any pins or joints, just slot the parts of the bridges together. And the most surprising thing about this is that his construction of the Da Vinci Bridge was found to be stable. Moving on, we actually also have a workshop with the Science Center last year. So basically, Science Center offered us a venue where we can actually reach out to our participants. And during this workshop, we actually taught them more about CAD software known as Fusion 360. So this Fusion 360 CAD workshop, we actually got the students, and then we will guide them step by step on how to use the CAD software to design their very own pencil holder. Can't really see. Okay, I'm having issues with this. Yeah, so this is basically another workshop that we have. I believe it was a 3D printing workshop also. And then the leadership speech series, which the most recent one, not this year, it was last year when COVID was still a thing. And you can see like our speakers interacting with our LDP planners. So basically, I hope that you guys know more about the activities that LDP does. So I would actually share more about my own experience as an LDP member. So basically, I have been with LDP for about 2 years now. And personally, I think that it's very eye-opening. It has been a very eye-opening experience to see how my fellow LDPians run their workshops as well as guide the junior members. So for many of you who aren't aware by now, LDP actually make sure that we run this workshop. Sorry, not workshop. We actually run this thing known as the Senior Sharing Workshop as well as the Mentor-Mentee program. So both of these activities were actually deliberately designed so that us seniors will be able to interact with the juniors more. That's the first thing. And the second thing is that we will be able to pass down useful and critical information about leadership as well as skills like CAD, Arduino, as well as most recently the DaVinci Bridge, so that they will be able to carry on running our workshops at the same competency levels as our predecessors. So specifically for myself, I have run a mentor-mentee program together with my fellow LDPian, Zui, and we were actually tasked to mentor 4 junior LDP members and try to get them to understand the different phases of workshop planning, which are the planning itself, the execution of the workshop on the stated day, as well as any after-action reviews. So after-action reviews are very important because after every workshop, we actually have a lot of learning points that we can glean from to make sure that our future workshops will run in a much smoother pace. So for most of my mentees, I believe they have left this mentor-mentee program very satisfied, and they told me and Zui that we have learned a lot from our experiences. So yeah, I would stop my sharing now. And for the rest of you, like the participants who are here to find out more about our clubs, these are our QR codes for our Facebook, our Instagram, as well as our LinkedIn. So do make sure that you whip out your phone right now, scan the QR code, and you'll be keep up to date with all of our activities. Thank you. If there are any questions about LDP, you can just ask me and I'll be here for a while. I'll be able to answer your questions. Thanks.
Thank you, Wesley. So I think there is one question from you. Okay.
Is there a question?
Okay, I think if there's no question, maybe the next presenter, Yuxuan. She's a president of Robotics Club in MAE.
Hi everyone, can you see my slides?
Yes, we can see.
Okay. So hi everyone, I'm Yuxuan. I'm the current president of Robotics Club. As you can tell from the name of our club, we do focus on the very trending field of robotics. So our mission is to gather individuals from diverse disciplines and backgrounds for the purpose of growing and sharing each other's passion for robotics and technology. So the first thing, big thing that we do annually is the competition organization. You may already see this from the website of MAE that we host this Lunar Exploration Challenge last year. And in the final round, we have the honor to have the prior NASA astronaut Jeffrey Williams to come as one of the judges and give a talk. So our competition usually involves 2 rounds. The first round, we will select ideations that is related to the topic. Then selected teams will move forward to build their prototype, as you can see from the photos here. So we do focus on a lot of the prototyping stage where we give support and necessary material to make your ideas from the report to an actual working thing. This year, we have another ongoing competition which focuses on the future of Singapore's transportation system. Luckily, we have 5 selected teams that is in the prototyping stage, and hopefully we can see more of the nice ideations and prototypes. So since robotics is a very multidisciplinary field, so it involves engineering knowledge from mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, material science, and software engineering. So the workshops that we hosted try to collaborate with other engineering schools and expose undergraduate students to different skills that is helpful in robot building. For example, we host basic and intermediate Arduino workshop with Garage EEE, which is from the College of Electrical and Electronics Engineering. We do split the workshops into 2 sessions so that for the year 1 and year 2 students, they can attend the basic Arduino workshop. For the highest level students, we will suggest them to go for the intermediate Arduino workshop, where we will teach more sophisticated stuff like Wi-Fi module, Bluetooth, app development. Similar to other clubs, we also host a 3D printing workshop, which is a very useful tool in prototype building. One of the very hot topics in the field of robotics is actually related to computer vision, where the robot will use camera or different other sensors to make which helps the robot to identify obstacles. So this year, we have the honor to collaborate with IES, NTU, TechSource, and MathWorks to conduct a MathWorks computer vision workshop, which tells you how to capture image and analyze image and train your image using MathWorks, which is MATLAB. Other than the hands-on workshop, we do host a professional talk to expose undergraduates to more research opportunities that is related to robotics. For example, last year we had a 3D printing professional talk, which is in collaboration with SC3DP, stands for Singapore Center for 3D Printing, which is also located in the NTU campus. We have 3 speakers to come down to share their current research that is on the field of 3D printing. We have another robotics career talk hosted last semester, where we have PhD students, master students, and seniors who is working in the field of robotics to share their path to the robotics, why they choose to have a career or have a further study in the field of robotics, and how we can prepare ourselves to enter the field of robotics. During the holiday break, we also hosted robotics projects to prepare us for a more complicated and complete project of robot. For example, last December and January, we had this task-based mobile robot project where we help the undergraduates to form into teams, and they will build a mobile robot which is able to complete tasks and trace lines on a map. So here we have a video demonstrating how one of the robot is able to trace lines. The robot will use different sensors, for example, the IR sensor, color sensor, light sensor, to differentiate the lines from the white background. This is a very basic project, but it's a very good starting point to advance to the more complicated robot project. This one takes about 2 to 3 weeks for a team to complete. Another thing is that under MAE Robotics Club, we have an independent competition team called Megatron, and we have been focusing on the competition of SAUVC autonomous SAUVC, which stands for Singapore Autonomous Underwater Vehicle Challenge. So here we have a picture of the robot that we used for this competition last year. We participated in the 2022 competition. Last year, there were 96 AUVs from 19 countries, and 42 of the designs were shortlisted after the video submission, which makes us one of the shortlisted teams. And in the qualification round, there are 16 teams actually qualified, which the robot meets the criteria of fully autonomous, functional stop button, and passing the qualification gate. We are lucky to rank ourselves number 8 globally. So here I prepared 2 videos that show how the robot perform underwater. One is in the swimming pool, which is located in NTU. Another one is for the actual competition. So our robot is supposed to fully autonomous, which means no computer connected, no person aided, and it must be able to guide its own way underwater. And also, for one of the competition criteria is the robot must be fast enough. Yeah. So for this robot, we will continue building on this robot and participate in the next competition, and hopefully we can get a better results. Yeah, that's all for the sharing of Robotics Club. If you want to know more about the events that we hosted or we are going to host, you can visit our website or visit our Instagram page. Thank you.
Thank you, Yuswan. Anyway, the Yuswan and Bandari Chime will be at the open house on 25th Feb. So they are doing some hands-on demo. So you have any questions on that day, you can approach them personally on 25th February at the Nanyang Auditorium in NTU. If there's no other question or no questions, we can end this sharing experience. Anyway, thank you for attending this live chat. Thank you very much. Thanks, Bandari, Wesley, and Yusran. Thank you. Thanks, Sohui and Meijin. Have a great weekend.